So, UFC on ESPN 4. It was yesterday, and I enjoyed it. It was worth the time. I mean, obviously, all UFC fights are worth the time, you know. But this one was good. It wasn't. There were some disappointments, obviously, but all around, I enjoyed the fights. The main card. I wouldn't call it one of my favorites of the year, but it was good. It was entertaining. But I'll start out with the main event. Rafael dos Anjos, RDA, versus Leon Edwards, Rocky. I was right about this one. Leon took the win by decision, like I said. I didn't want it to happen. I was rooting for RDA. I called Rocky to win, but I wanted RDA to win. I'm not a fan of Rocky. I might be one day, you know, but I don't know. I don't know what it is about him. I'm just not a fan of him. RDA, I'm a decent fan of him, so I want him to win. Performances were on both parts were good. I thought RDA's leg kicks looked super fast. I wish he would have threw more of those. I think he could have threw more leg kicks and body kicks and high kicks. He could have feinted more with the kicks and could have went to the head, you know. But yeah, those leg kicks were super quick, fast as I've seen him. So I wish he would have threw more of those. But he looked good. That was the best RDA anyone's ever fought in, and Leon beat him. So props to Leon for that. You know, Leon's boxing looked awesome. I think it was the best boxing on the card, for sure. His straight left's wicked. And his elbows. Those elbows are better than John Jones' elbows. I'm calling it right now. That fool got some good elbows. Cut up RDA. But one thing I did say on predictions was that Leon was going to be too big for RDA. I seen that. You know, I think it played a factor, the size difference, but I don't think it was the biggest factor. I think the fight IQ, the strategy Leon brought, along with his boxing, his crisp, nasty boxing, I think that's what made the biggest difference between the two in the fight. Every time RDA tried to push forward with lots of pressure, and try to outpace Leon would grab clinch. He would just go straight to clinching. You know, that works. You know, RDA, he ain't the best wrestler. I think he's a good wrestler. He's a good grappler. But I think Leon knew that he could, with his size and his own grappling ability, keep it on the feet if he needs to. So I think he grabbed clinch every time RDA went forward. And I think that was a smart idea, because it stopped RDA's huge pace and pressure he brings to fights. It was a great strategy by him. And yeah, what was I gonna get at now? Yeah, I don't give Leon much. I give him credit. I know he's good. And it hurts to say how good he is, because I don't like him, but I will. He's good. I think he's top 5 material, honestly. Top 10 for sure. What's next for the two? What I'd want next for Rafael is Gunnar Nelson. I think that'd be a fun fight. I think their striking to grappling ratio mirrors one another, you know. I think Gunnar's grappling is better than his own striking, but his striking is still good. I think RDA's striking is better than his grappling, but his grappling is still good. Stylistically, they're both well-rounded. and I think it'll be a fun fight. I really do. And they're both ranked still, you know, so it'd be an important fight too. But for the main event winner, Leon Edwards, he called out Masvidal. I believe Masvidal already owns a TKO victory over him earlier this year, you know. So I'd love to see that fight. I think they're both wicked boxers. I don't know who's a better boxer. Leon's boxing looked amazing in this last fight, and Jorge's boxing has always been elite. And grappling, we've seen Jorge, his grappling defense. Damian Maia couldn't submit, and Jorge in the past. I don't see Leon submitting Jorge, but I think the biggest question would be, can Leon land a takedown? Or whose boxing is better, honestly. I don't know whose boxing is better. They're both very good. And I honestly don't think Leon's wrestling is there to take Masvidal down. So it'd definitely be a boxing, back and forth boxing fight. Whoever's the better boxer to win that fight, I think. But that's not the fight I want for him next, you know. I want Jorge to fight Usman. So I don't think Jorge's in the picture right now. I'd love to see Leon versus the Robbie Covington winner. I think that's the fight to go with. I don't think Kobe is, you know, #1 contender anymore. You know, he hasn't fought since RDA. You know, and RDA's been beaten since then multiple times. RDA's one win is against Kevin Lee, a lightweight. You know, since that fight. So that's Kobe Covington's top win right now. And if he beats Robbie, you know, Robbie's coming off losses too. You know, so what's beating Robbie Lawler? How does that earn Kobe a title shot? There's three fighters that have longer winning streaks than Kobe right now in the welterweight division. So honestly, I don't think Kobe's the #1 contender anymore. I don't think if he beats Robbie, that'll make him the #1 contender. Well, Jorge just beat the guy that beat Robbie. So, and I think Kobe's gonna win that fight. So I honestly think what I want next for Leon is Kobe Covington. You know, I want to root for Leon in one of these fights, and the only way I'm going to root for him is if he's fighting someone I dislike more than him, and that's Kobe Covington. I think that's a good fight. I think Leon smokes him on the feet. I think he outboxes Covington easily, but Covington, what I will admit with him is his wrestling and his cardio and his pace are the best in the division. Them three mixed together. I don't think he's the best wrestler, but with his pace and conditioning, I don't think anybody could outpace him with wrestling. It'll be really interesting to see what happens, because we've seen Leon lose to the wrestler before. That was a while ago. That was his last loss. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles being pressured by a monster like Covington. And one of them have to lose. So that's win-win for me. Some of the stats for that fight. RDA landed 129 out of 219 total strikes to Leon's 113 out of 244 total strikes. But the important ones and the significant strikes, Leon landed RDA landed 81 to 169 to Leon's 92 out of 215. So Leon outlanded him by 11 strikes in significance. So it's close, but it was, if you watch the fight, you know, you could tell. Rafael landed 0 out of 5 takedown attempts. Leon landed 3 out of 10, which wasn't bad. It's not very much. It's not very accurate, but he landed them when he needed them, when they counted. Neither one went for any significant submission attempts. But yeah, that's what I want for them too. That's what I thought about the fight. I thought Leon looked good. I will give him that. And for the co-main event, I didn't cover this one in my last video, which I apologize for. I don't know why I forgot about it, honestly. I don't mind the two fighters, you know. But Walt Harris fucking smashed him. Smashed the guy. He landed 4 significant strikes, and that's all he needed to finish the fight. Flying kneed him. It looked like the knee hit his under armpit, but it was like an overhand left, I think, that landed on him after the flying knee that put the dude down. I thought it was a fun fight. You know, you didn't really see much from Walt Harris, but what we did get is that he's fast, explosive, powerful, and sometimes that's all you need in the heavyweight division, you know. What I want for Walt Harris next is Greg Hardy. I wouldn't mind that fight, you know. And I think they're both big, powerful men, and that'd be a fun fight, honestly. I think one of the two are gonna get knocked out. I think it's gonna be a first round knockout if they do fight, and it'd be interesting to see who knocks who out. So the next fight was between James Vick and the Hangman. I called him the Scarecrow last video. I apologize, Dan Hooker. I was wrong about this one. You know, I was convinced that Vick wasn't chinny, you know. His last fight against Paul Felder, he took some good shots from Paul. Paul hits hard, man. Paul had like 4 consecutive knockouts before fighting Vick. So the fact that he was able to take those punches the way he did, you know, convinced me that he's not chinny, that he could take a punch, you know, but he didn't take a punch. Dan Hooker caught him with the left hook, knocked him out first round. I said in the last video that I wouldn't be surprised if Dan Hooker doesn't knock him out, but I was confident Vick was gonna outstrike him for 3 rounds. I felt like Vick was the better striker, but I don't know about that now. You know, Dan outlanded him before the knockout blow. I think he was outlanding him in strikes. Dan looked good. He looked good. He was able to land strikes that he needed to land. It went so fast that you can't really say what you got from it other than the fact that he's good, you know. One thing I will say about that fight is on James Vick's side. He needs to work on his head movement, that dude, man. He's tall, he's lengthy, and he doesn't have too bad offensive boxing, you know. He has great offensive striking abilities. So if he worked on his defensive boxing, I think he would be a straight killer. I'm telling you. Head movement, he needs to work on that head movement. When he gets striked at, he sticks his head back like this, he pushes his hands out like that. John Jones style. I said it before, James Vick's defensive boxing, defensive striking reminds me a lot of John Jones. You know, they both stiffen up, stick their head straight back. They don't take it off the center line, which they should. They don't angle out. They don't use angles. They stick their head back. They stick their hands out like that, right in front of them. You know, it's not what you should do, man. When you're tall like that, when you have that much length over your opponent, there's no reason you should be leaving your chin in one area the way to do, straight up like that. You know, he needs to work on his defense boxing. I think if he does that, he'll you know, he'll keep it going in the top 15, maybe even top 10. That division's fucking rough though. So, but yeah, what I think is next for those two, what I want for those two with Vic, I wouldn't mind a rematch with Chinaldo. Or no, honestly, no. I would want him to fight Charles Oliveira. I think Oliveira deserves a top 15 guy who's close to the top 10. I think that'd be a fun fight. I think Charles, you know, his striking has evolved great, and I think he could challenge Vic in the striking department. And Charles' grappling is world class. So it'll be interesting to see who's the better striker, and if Charles's grappling can play a good factor in the fight. I think that's the fight I want for them too. And with Dan Hooker, I want him to fight my boy Gregor Gillespie next. Gregor Gillespie is my top two up and comers right now. I love Gregor Gillespie. People ask me all the time why I like Gregor Gillespie so much, because I'm not a hater on Khabib. People see me, you know, I'm not a big fan of him, so they wonder why, but, you know, they don't fight the same. Gregor Gillespie's on a 5-fight finishing streak. He finishes fights. He doesn't use wrestling to take you down and hold you down, you know. He doesn't try to ride out a fight. He uses his wrestling to finish fights. He uses his greatest ability, which is one of the best in that category, to finish fights. And that's what I like. I like fights being finished. That's the ultimate way to win a fight, you know, is to finish a fight. And I think it'll be a fun fight. Dan Hooker's never really fought an elite wrestler before. He's never fought a man that's pushed him with wrestling, that's pushed a pace like Gregor Gillespie does. And that'd be interesting to see if he can handle that, you know. And I want Gregor Gillespie to fight a top fighter. I want to see how. I know he's great. I think he's the future champion of the division. So I want him to get a top fighter for once. But that's who I want for Dan Hooker next. The fight was short, like I said. There was 3. No, it wasn't the next fight. My bad. He landed 22. Dan Hooker landed 22 out of 41 significant strikes to fix 7 out of 23. There was no takedowns landed, no takedown attempts, and no submission attempts. The fight before the Walt Harris fight was the Greg Hardy fight. My bad about that. That was an interesting fight. I was wrong about that one. I said that could go either way. I said I didn't know who was winning that fight. I was just assuming if I just went on who I would go for if I had to choose, basically. And I felt like Yuan had the grappling advantage. So I felt like he was going to get the takedown and either win by submission or decision, but it didn't go that way. It went the other way. That I said, two big powerful men punch each other, one of them's going to fall. Two big guys that don't really have technical abilities, you know, that aren't technically there in the top. One of them's going to go down, and it was Dan Hardy knocking the other guy down. Not down, but TKO down. Yuan went for a takedown. I got pissed. You know, I wanted Yuan to win. I'm not a Greg Hardy hater, you know, and I'm not going to get into this, the political part about it, but I was mad because Yuan, I don't know what he was thinking, you know. He went for a takedown. He had the leg. He got it stuffed, you know. Greg Hardy grabbed the wizard right off the bat, kind of threw him to the side, And while Yuan held onto the leg, Greg Hardy started landing some ground and pound, you know. But Adams, he just laid there. He grabbed the leg and he just laid there. I don't know. You know, his job is to defend himself. And he did not defend himself. That was the worst way you defend yourself, is by taking punches and just laying there. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know if he was out. When he got up, he looked a little dazed. He looked a little, you know, out of it a little bit. So I honestly think that was a fair stoppage. Greg Hardy won that fight. He did, you know, convincingly. There's nothing really controversial about it, you know. He hit the dude on the ground. The guy laid there, defenseless. Did not defend himself. He landed plus 30 significant strikes to the head of Yuan Adams. And that dude's big. Greg Hardy's big. That's a lot of power, you know. What was he supposed to do? What was the ref supposed to do, you know? He had to stop the fight, protect the fighter. It's his job, so he did it, and it was fair. He won. What I want for him next, I'd honestly cut him. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. I think he should be cut, unfortunately. Apologies if he ever sees this, you know. But for Greg Hardy, I honestly don't think he's ever going to be one of the best. But what I want for him next is Walt Harris. I said for Walt Harris' part. I'm not saying this because I think Walt Harris would just smash him, and I want to see Dan Hardy smashed. You know, I see a lot of these people feed him to the Black Beast. You know, feed him to Sagano or Francis. That's not how I think. What I want Dan to get a fair run, you know. And I think Walt Harris would be a very, very fun opponent for him. The fight would be fun to watch and a good step up in competition. They're both 6'5". They both weigh around 265. Big, powerful dudes. Someone's getting knocked out in the first round, and I'd love to watch that fight. And then the lightweight fight. Alexander Hernandez versus Francis Trinaldo. The win went the way I said it was gonna. I said Alex was gonna outwork him to a decision. So Alex did win by decision. It was controversial because it was a close fight. I don't honestly think there was a true winner. I would have called it a draw. I had it a draw. But I was right. That's all that matters for me, you know. And I like Alex more. I want to see Alex, you know, rise up the rankings. It was a lackluster fight. I don't think it was boring, you know. I don't think fights are boring. There ain't no such thing as a boring fight. There is, you know, there's a couple bad ones. But I don't think it was a bad fight. They both landed 25 significant strikes. You know, Alex went for one takedown and he missed it. I think Alex should have pushed the pace more. I think if he would have did that, you know, I think he's better at that. So the fact that the fight was so close, I think if Alex would have fought better for himself, he could have pulled off the win. You know, that's how I see it. I could be wrong. But yeah, I think if he would have pushed the pace more, threw more offense, I think he would have did better. I think he would have outworked Trinaldo. I think if he would have went for, he has great cardio. So if he would have went for more than just one takedown, like maybe 5, I think he would have landed 1 or 2. I don't think Trinaldo has the best cardio, so I think he could outwork Trinaldo, you know, and beat him more convincingly. Trinaldo looked like himself, you know. He's a counter striker. He's old, so he's not very quick, but he's good. He's very technical. He looked as good as he ever does, you know. What I want for them two, for Alex, I would love him to fight the winner between Davy Ramos and Islam Makhachev. They were already scheduled to fight, Islam and Alex. I wanted that fight to go. I think Islam is one of the best lightweights in the world right now. I mean, he at one point before his last fight, his takedown accuracy was at 92%. That's fucking huge. He had 100% takedown defense. He's been taken down once now so far his whole career, in his UFC career. People say Khabib's way better than him, but I've heard in training and everything that they're back and forth, that they're equals basically. And I think he's more technical than Khabib is. Khabib's more of a wrecking train, but Islam, he picks his takedowns. I think that's why his takedown accuracy is so much higher than Khabib's, is because he picks his shots. He doesn't just rush in and grab a takedown any way he can. So basically, for Khabib, I think if Khabib was more technical about it, I think he would be exactly how Islam is. But yeah, that'd be a fun fight. Davey Ramos is a beast. He's one of the best grapplers in the division. I think Alex, it'd be a really tough test either one of those two for Alex. And if he can somehow get past one of the two, I think that'd push him up to the top 10, top 5. There he is. But that's what I want for Alex next. For Trinaldo, maybe he can fight Gilbert Burns. I think that'd be a fun fight. Gilbert's one of those well-rounded fighters. Great grappling, good striking. I think he would challenge Trinaldo a little bit in the striking department, but I think Trinaldo's a better striker, obviously. But his grappling's world-class. Gilbert's grappling's world-class, so that'd be a fun test for either one of them, too. That division is just amazing. I just love that division. I just can't wait for any fight to come out in the top 30. And the first fight of the night, Andrew Arlovski versus Ben Rothwell. I was 100% right about this one. I called it 100% perfect. I called that Arlovski was going to be too quick. He was an outpoint Ben on the feet, and that's exactly what he did. And he did it violently. I said right after the fight, fucking Arlovski looked like a heavyweight Max Holloway. He threw lots of punches, lots of combinations. Never threw single shots. He threw combinations, man. His boxing was on point in that fight. That was the best boxing I've ever seen it for Andrew. And I think that might be some of the best boxing I've seen in that division, honestly. Arlovski threw 272 strikes total and 263 significant strikes. That's a lot of strikes for heavyweight. I wasn't able to find the stats for significant strikes landed in a thrown in a heavyweight fight the most, but that has to be on one of the top. He landed 152 significant strikes. That's a big man landing lots of punches to a bigger man's face. I'm surprised someone didn't get knocked out. Ben looked durable as ever. He was slow. Ben's always slow, but his striking didn't look half bad. I would have liked to see him go for more takedowns, but of course he was that tired from just boxing, so I guess I can't really ask for him to go for too many takedowns. That would have been a lot more tiring. So I was really impressed with Andre, man, that was pretty nice. For them two, I wouldn't mind seeing Ben retire, He got hit a lot in that fight. But, maybe he could fight Greg Hardy next, If all cares can't get that fight with Greg Hardy, maybe Ben next, that'd be a tough fight for Greg Hardy. That'd be a good fight, tough test. That's who I'd want for Ben, either Greg Hardy, up-and-coming heavyweight, or retirement. And for Andre Arlovski, give him the man Walt Harris whooped in 4 significant strikes. 12 seconds. The Russian. 2 Russians banging it out. That'd be a fun fight. I think Andre would take that, but you know, give the man a good fight, you know. That's it. I enjoyed the fight card. I don't think much of the card was boring, you know. Alex's fight was a tad boring. I'll admit that, but you know, it is what it is. He tried fighting a smart fight. Maybe next time he'll try to fight his own fight, you know. I don't think that was Hernandez. Next time, hopefully he fights his own fight. And Leon, Rocky, he looked great. I can't wait to see where he takes it next. He's right in there in the top 5. He's right in there in the top 5. But that's it for now. I'm gonna be covering UFC 240. I will break down the fights, the main card, get my predictions out there. I'm gonna be making a video about the Cowboy versus Gaethje fight. That's gonna be oh my god, that's gonna be one of the greatest fights of all time. I can't wait for that one. I'm breaking down that fight, and yeah, we'll see you next.